Now, one artist with their work, whatever it might be, can certainly reach out and touch others. If you have a community of artists, this spirit literally radiates, and it reaches out to other people in the community who share those feelings and who aren't afraid. And then amazing things happen, just as Mr. Hinton said they would. This picture is Maiden Alley Cinema. It's called Maiden Alley because years ago, Ladies of the Night had their facilities back there in the alley. Paducah, as I understand it, is the only film society in the state that has its own movie house. It's a modern, delightful, intimate theater right down that alley on the left. Now, so obviously there were people, and I guess it started before the Artists Relocation Program, but it was completed by the early years of the program. So obviously there were people with vision, and there were people who weren't afraid to think outside the box even before the artists came. 6 years ago, 5 years ago, the director, the young man who's the director of the theater, and two of the Lower Town artists were having coffee, and they started talking about, well, why can't we have a film festival? You know, we can do it. We got some neat things going on here. And out of that conversation came the River's Edge Film Festival. It's now called the River's Edge International Film Festival. It's in its 5th year. Just because 3 or 4 people thought they can do it, and they knew how to mobilize the resources that were available. There's a production, it's called 48-Hour Film, and I don't know the formal title of it, but I know that these folks go to major cities around the country, and each city provides a series of teams, filmmakers, maybe 3 or 4 people, and they're given a plot that they don't know about, and they have 48 hours to come up with a film. Usually it's about 3 to 5 minutes long. This year, they came to Paducah, and it's the first time they've ever used a city as small as Paducah, which, by the way, the population is somewhere between 27 and 28,000 people. Further back, you can see the Performing Arts Center. Now, this came about, again, because of one person, a physician and a musician. And he had a vision, and he was convinced that Paducah could have a 40 million, well, I guess they thought it might be 30 million, but not surprisingly, it's a $40 million structure that now houses Broadway shows, has been a venue for the likes of B.B. King, Bill Cosby, Bob Newhart. It's an incredible place for a city of 27,000 people. But it's just, again, a testament to the vision of one man who was willing to work to bring other people involved. And one thing that I see, particularly after hearing the last speaker, and I see it in retrospect, but in Paducah, there is this collaboration. There's few boundaries between the citizens and the board of directors of the theaters and the city commissioners and the mayor. I mean, it really is this just amazing meld of people who are willing to do things. Mark never thought small. And when he said, oh, I guess now 6 years ago to me that, well, we need to have an art school in Paducah. And I thought, oh yeah, you know, that's it. Well, Mark thought we should have an art school. He talked to the city planner talked to the commissioners talked to the bank talked to the economic development team, talked to the downtown. Everybody was brought on board, and we have an art school. This is where, when enough money is raised, it will eventually be housed, which is right on the corner, the edge of Lower Town. This is where it is now, downtown Paducah, temporary quarters. It has a full-time director and 2 full-time faculty members, and they're hiring 2 more. And it's operating under the auspices of the community college. But their goal is to have a be a degree-granting four-year school. Now, I don't doubt that it will happen. Well, let me go back and just keep at it for a minute. The other thing, I talked about the school and the institutions and what we see downtown. I have to talk about the neighborhood. Now, Paducah is, Lower Town is unlike any place I've ever lived. It's a neighborhood where it can take you 30 minutes to walk your dog around the block because you're stopping to talk to everyone. It's a place where 4 or 5 o'clock, if you're on your porch with a glass of wine, the neighbor walks by and they'll join you. You might have 2 or 3 people there. It's a place where you'll invite people for dinner, call up at 5:30 and say, hey, what are you doing? How about coming, making some great pasta, come on over. We have spontaneous potlucks. And there's no boundary also between the artists that have come in and the residents that have been in Lower Town and the local people that have moved in. I mean, they're all part of this one incredible community. This shows you, again, some of the economic numbers. And on the next slide, I'll give you the reference to the people who did this research. But you can see where they concluded that this was a $39, almost $40 million industry in Paducah. And this is, when they say the arts, we're talking about the theaters, the Market House Theater, and I didn't mention the Quilt Museum, which is kind of a whole other issue. But Paducah's become a magnet for the region, and until the economy crashed, in my gallery, we're seeing a significant number of people from Chicago, St. Louis, Nashville, Memphis. American for the Arts, and there's the website, www.americanforthearts.org. And they did this research, and they studied the greater Paducah area, which was Paducah, McCracken County, and I guess the surrounding county. And for more specific information, the Paducah Renaissance Alliance, which was it is a downtown organization, but has been transferred or transformed under a new name, and their responsibility is for more than just downtown now, but also for the Lower Town Arts. The Artists Relocation Program has been a fantastic success in revitalizing and restoring the Lower Town neighborhood. There's just, no matter how you look at it. It's also been a success in creating an amazing neighborhood and a community. Whether it will ever evolve to a really thriving commercial arts district has yet to be determined. That's a work in progress, and there's so many other factors. But they're still looking for artists. They're looking for established artists who are willing to open their galleries, and they're still trying to recruit more business.